Hi guys, George at Optics, just doing a quick video on setting up the new Alpex Lite. So this is footage I've taken from my local range, so I'll quickly go over how to zero the scope. So you go menu, advanced settings, and then scrolling down. Oh, I've done it the wrong way around. See there I'm playing with WDR. I will touch on that a bit later. It's basically something to help with extreme light settings because it was very bright. So go to zeroing and then type style of reticule. Corrections, it will zoom you back out, so it's important to set the distance, but I know it's going to be on paper, so set the zoom that I'm happy with. 14, plenty good enough and good detail still retained. And then hover over freezing, so I'm aiming for that little group there. Right. Helps if you cock the rifle. Well, so you can see I've just gone high right there. I just shoot a little group just to make it easier. Out of interest, this is on my HW100 in 2.2. I'm using the JSB RS's. There is a bit of a crosswind here, hence why I disregard that shot and just take another. And you will see a bit later that wind really does have an effect. So now I aim, or take another shot, and now basically I've got to try and hold that reticule on my point of aim, get as close as I can, and then freeze. It is a little blurry because of the motion, but now I go down to X and Y. Open that up, that's some previous settings from the other video. I've gone down to Y because that's my vertical, I'm going to do that first. It's just a case of bringing that reticule to that group. As you can see, this process does not take long at all. It's very simple, especially when you know which way to turn the turret. This is all done via the turret and the buttons on top of the scope. It's dead simple. And let's press and hold the select button to come back out. Press and hold again. Save parameters, OK. Yep. Takes you back out of that menu. And then I just shoot on the paper, see if I'm happy with it. Yep, straight through that hole, sorted. So that's the quick recap of the zeroing. Now I'm going to do the ballistic setup. So you can see I've changed the reticle just to make it a bit easier for me seeing it. So you go menu, advanced settings, and you go back down to zeroing. Scroll down, and that's where you can name your profile. I've called it air for air rifle. Corrections, ballistic calculation. Go on there. I want it on. That's the aim point style. I've selected that little brackets mark. Parameters, drag model G1. I'm going to change my feet per second. I use the Garmin C1 Crony. Just did a 13-shot string. And went to the nearest whole number, which was 629, I think it was, feet per second. We'll see in just a sec. But it is crucial that you do chronograph it. Oh, 628, there you go. Altitude, I was at sea level, so it is 0. Ballistic coefficient, 0.029. That's what I use for all air gun pellets, seems to work. I got it mounted fairly low, so I've gone with a 1.5 inch. That's from the centre of your barrel to the centre of the scope. That's where I take that measurement from. And then save. And back out of the menu. It's that quick. It does not take long at all. So as long as you've got access to a chronograph, this is dead simple. It takes the distance that you've zeroed at from your zeroing parameters. So now I just check that I'm all on. You can see I'm back at 20 meters. Reset the target. But still on. As you can see, I'm already zoomed in at 20.5 and it's more than shootable. It's dead simple to do. I'm going to ping the rangefinder there. You see it's going to 55 yard. That isn't 55 yards, it's 30. Some of this is because I'm coming in close, the IR's a little misaligned, it's rangefinding that thing behind it. Also our hot target does seem, because he's been baking out in the sun all day, does seem to have a little bit of an effect. But you see at 31 yards, and there's my aim point. So I'm going to test that out, straight in the centre. You see here I go for the spinner and just sort of scare it. I think this is the crosswind, because it was pretty gusty, but other than that it seems pretty on. And then here again, the ranging thing comes in, again a really hot target coming in here. So I think that's what's going on. So yeah, I rangefind the one behind it, that's 45, so that's obviously not 55. This is where knowing your distances, having that intuition comes into play. As good as the technology is, you can't replace instincts. So send that, down he goes. You can even see the pellet flying. It's only a 2-2, so it is going slow. There's a bit of an arc on it. Knock them down. And then this one gives me a bit of jip with that wind. You'll see the pellets just sail straight to the right of it. That's me. It does highlight a limit of ballistic calculators in scopes. They typically don't take account for wind. That is something you've just got to try and read on the day. And I get them eventually. And then there, I take it out a bit further, just to see. Got a nice big target to range find, makes my life easy. This one is actually 56 yards away. And send that, and you can see it goes right where that marker is. So if any misses, they're down to me, they're not down to the scope. The scope is doing everything it should be. So next up, I've got some footage of us on the FT HFT course. I've set up on my tripod. Can't hold a gun that steady. You can see there, got a little tank target, and look, you can see that wind. At 33 yards, I zeroed at 20, so it's only a little holdover. And this is where that WDR comes in, where you've got bright day but a lot of shadows. It helps even out the image. So you can see, I can see that target really clearly. Here, I knew this was going to be a little bit of trouble trying to range find through the brush and such, so I thought I'd give it a go, see what it does. I should just drop him. I do allow a little bit for wind. There you go. But yeah, back to the WDMR. It just makes it, if it didn't have that on, that would appear really dark in that tank target and be quite hard to see. So here's my third target. Very in close, 26 yards. I'm not far off my zero anyway, so I probably could have point shooted it. It's got quite a big kill zone anyway. Down it goes. I must admit, I was grinning like an idiot doing this. Now this target here, I have never dropped this freehand shooting it properly, ever. Never done it, just can't do it. Again, this situation like this is where the WDR really helps, because you've got something inside where it's dark, but a lot of light outside of it. And buff straight down. I must admit, using this scope, it's one of the first digital scopes I've used where I wasn't conscious of the fact it was a digital scope. It just felt like I was using a really good tool. Now this target is really hard to shoot. It's up high, and so there's a lot of wind. You'll see I'll put a few shots of this to try and drop it, but the ballistics is doing its job. If this was a pest control job, I would still be competently dropping a target, and buff, there it goes. nice and easy. And again, through the building, this is also the ergonomics of this scope. The buttons are where you want them to be. The turret for zooming in is nice and tactile, and the button for rangefinder, it's right there where you want it to be. It's the closest one. It's the one you're going to reach for first, so it's just there. Another one down, and the ballistic calculator just makes things ridiculously easy. It's a bit of a joke really now. I mean, obviously I'm on a tripod. You can see it's windy, and I'm dropping targets a lot easier than I should be. And just to mention, it does account for your zoom as well. So if I zoomed out, you'd see that aim point move with the zoom. Now this one is a tricky one because again, I'm attempting to go through brush again. You know, it says 114 yards. Obviously it's not. And that's because I'm pointing at things that aren't reflecting properly. So I figure I will just give it a go and sort of highlight some of the limiting factors. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something from it. And if you want to know any more, please let us know down in the comments, and I'll see you next time.